Today's somatics, we're going to be doing standing actually. And this is as much a practice for me right now with some stuff coming up in my life and just feeling a little more activation as it hopefully is for you guys. My hope with this one is that you can also just do this during the day, like while you're working, or even if you're like playing with your kids at home and you can just get some movement in. So we'll be doing standing today. So good to see all of you guys. Okay. So we're just gonna get started. Oof. Alrighty. So let's get started standing. A little bit of a shorter practice today, and let's just bring our feet a little bit further than hip width distance. So we have a nice strong ground, and we can kind of bend our knees a little bit here. And let's just take a moment, placing our palms kind of forward or somewhere that feels comfortable, opening up the chest. And let's do a couple shoulder rolls, bringing the shoulders back and down. So we're really creating more space in the chest, a little bit more of expansion focused in today's practice. Just starting to breathe deeply. Inhaling and exhaling, really allowing yourself to fill up in the stomach, the abdomen, expand the breath beyond the chest. And then on the next one, let's keep the shoulders down and back, kind of chest proud, and just take a few deep breaths in through the nose. Really opening up, filling up, and then out through the mouth. 2 more in. And out. And in. And out. Good. And then let's bring our arms up to more of kind of like a T shape. This is one of my favorite movements for proprioception and just noticing safety. And let's just start to move around our space, no matter how small it is, helping our system to recognize that there's no kind of threat in our immediate vicinity. Opening up, being a little fluid with it, a little flowy. And I'm telling you, if you did this movement alone a couple times a day, trying not to crash into anything like I am, you would feel so much more connected into your space and so much safer in your space. It's an element of containment, right? Any extent to which we can add in a little fluidity, a little playfulness and flow, it's going to really support ourselves feeling more in touch with our bodies, bring online the parasympathetic. But also, if you're feeling a little more rigid, don't try and force it, right? So if you do feel a little more rigid and you just kind of want to alternate back and forth, that's totally fine. Get a nice twist. So really meeting our bodies where they are. And then we're going to start to kind of swoosh the arms, right? So we'll be standing here, maybe lifting slightly, swinging the hips, swinging the arms. And with all of our movements today, the goal is slow and really noticing the gravity. So as I bring the arms down, I feel their weight. We're kind of just going through inertia to move, right? We're not forcing it. And we're kind of pendulating and swinging the body. I love somatics that are more kind of cyclical, circular, flowy. And I didn't used to. I actually used to feel super awkward kind of doing anything. And so just remember, right, you're not on camera. I'm only on camera, just letting it go. Dropping the jaw, maybe opening the mouth slightly. We'll spend a little extra time in these movements. I really want you guys to try to engage into the feelings, whether that's the wind on your arms and hands, the weight, maybe you're feeling a little bit of heat, the kind of crunch or twist in the torso. And then we're going to come back through center. So now for this one, we're going to alternate kind of swinging the arms across body. You might end up tapping yourself a little bit. And really just feeling how this creates a little more loosening in the shoulders and the chest. And you can always slow it down, right? There can be a lot of beauty in that kind of lengthening of the movement. I'm just feeling everything start to let go. Remember to keep a little micro bend in your knees, and you can bring in the hips. I always say every somatic movement is a full body movement. We can start to feel how it impacts our body as a whole, from the pressure on our feet and how that changes all the way up to our face muscles, the crown of our head. And this is a really beautiful practice for inflammation. I'm sure you guys have seen some of these types of movements before. And so this can also be a great practice before you work out, kind of loosen things up. And then we're going to come back through center, and now starting to swing the arms, tapping our back and stomach slightly. Just notice, even I'm speeding it up a little today. I can obviously feel a little activation rising in my system. If you're going super quick with these movements, or if you are disconnecting from the sensations. So I shared recently with my clients that this work can be really frustrating sometimes, because when we go for a run or we work out, we still get the benefits if we think about other stuff the whole time. If we're not tuned into our workout, we still burn the calories, we still build the muscles. But in somatic work, we're really trying to engage into awareness of the body. And so you need to bring in a little more presence. That can be tough when there's a million things on our minds, right? So rather than beating ourselves up for it, just try to create enough sensation, whether it's the tapping and pressure, or the feeling, again, of the air, temperature, so that you can lock in a little bit more to the body. And just a few more breaths here. And then let's hinge slightly and just alternate swinging the arms forward and back. This one, just really dropping down the shoulders, letting the hands be heavy. And we'll take a little extra time in these movements. Now, if you notice with these movements that they're causing more activation, right? You might be craving a little more down regulation. If you're feeling a little more activated, like I am with some stress, then these can be a really beautiful way to move through it by leaning into it and not trying to force ourselves to calm down, but also not being too extreme, too intense, and like going sprinting or doing some super hardcore workout or like a cold plunge, right? And then we'll come back up through center, kind of let your arms organically like swing their way back to center. Now, before we keep going, let's always just take a couple moments to notice. So much power in this work is in the pause. When we really feel into some of the sensations we've created, let's come back to our shoulder rolls. Really making it an exaggerated luxury practice, right? Because in that, we can really feel every little nook and cranny. And here, I also want you to think about how it might feel different than when we started with our shoulder rolls. And if you're joining a little bit later, don't worry, this will be posted. And you can just jump right in. Okay. And then coming back through center. We'll kind of lazily place our left arm out. We'll take our right hand into like a light fist, not anything too intense, and just kind of pound up the left arm. Let's do a few rounds of that. Now, if the fist and the pounding feels like not good, it's not for you today, then I always recommend either just a gentle kind of tapping on the body or kind of brushing. So we hear a lot about dry brushing, right? So almost pretending you're brushing off. This can be a really beautiful one for stress and activation because it's like, just brushing that shit away, right? And then back through center, across the chest. And then let's lift our right arm, left into the little fist, and same deal over here. Remember, again, not to lock out the knees. I know I bring that one up a lot, but it's just easy to kind of only focus on these movements. And one thing to notice in any somatic work is if you're focusing on sensations in one part of the body, do other parts of the body tense to kind of make up for it, right? And the goal would be that we could create a loosening, a softening kind of overall. Of course, to a degree, we're standing up, we need muscles and support, but not kind of transitioning our tension into a different part of the body. And then moving across the chest. And then let's just take our fists and kind of move them down our body as a whole. So really gentle here. This is not about trying to create the most force. This is really about waking up, shifting energy, not feeling so stuck. And I love these types of practices in the morning, especially when I just need to get into my body. And then we're going to move ourselves all the way down. And then we're going to move our way back up. And we'll give ourselves a couple rounds of that. I'm probably going to do about 3. And if you want to walk around while you're doing it, kind of lift the feet if you're feeling a little like rigid and stuck. Please do so. Any way that we can support and get into the body. And taking your time coming back up so that the blood isn't rushing too much to the head. And just a little more time here, whatever you need to get out of it. I always like to do my kind of kidneys, my glutes. And just let it go. Take a moment to feel what's woken up in the body. And the power in feeling. And let's do a little bit of vagal toning, right? So we're going to take our hands and kind of hold onto our forearms. And we're going to swing our way up and swing our way over. Shifting the gaze. I like to close the eyes, to be honest. But if you like to have the eyes open to feel more present in your space, that's fine. And thinking about this twist, and I talk about this, and I want to do a kind of like talking head on this idea of release has unfortunately kind of taken over this industry as if we want to get rid of anything. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about releasing kind of an emotional hold on ourselves, right? So not feeling stuck in an emotion, but we're never trying to get rid of anxiety or get rid of sadness or anger because they're valid, they're signals, right? Instead, we're trying to meet them, we're trying to move with them, understand them, but also allow ourselves to see that we are not just one experience of an emotion, just anxiety, just sadness, just anger, that we can tune ourselves a little bit more into reality and a little bit less into the stories our mind is creating out of protection, and hold those emotional states in tandem with gratitude, with feeling pleasure in the body, so we just don't become hyper fixated or focused on the experience of pain or discomfort. And then back through center and just kind of cradle it a little bit here. Notice if you're clenching the jaw at all. No judgment, just letting it go a bit. And then let's come back through center. Good. Go ahead and place your hands on your kind of low back, almost like you're supporting yourself. And then we're going to roll down, hinging at the hips, letting ourselves begin to fall. And let the head drop and hang. Bend in the knees as much as you need here. And then let yourself begin to shift side to side a little bit. If this feels too unstable with the hands on the back, then you can bring your arms down and kind of rock side to side here. You can also hold at opposite elbows and swing side to side. Whatever feels good. Just letting it go. And then let's come back through center. Let's push into our heels to kind of gently rise our way up. Taking it super, super slow here. We're just going to take a moment. Eyes are hanging heavy. Taking your fingertips up, and we're going to gently pull down our face. And as we do, we're going to let the mouth fall open. Looks like we're having a little melting situation here. Pull down to the shelf of the collarbone. Tracing the fingertips down. And again, I'm really kind of pressing in here for support. I like to tilt the head up slightly to keep my shoulders down, my chest open. Let's just do one more time here. Pulling it down. Good. And then from here, with your hands kind of cradling your chest, shoulders down and back. One more time, go ahead and hinge at the hips. Let yourself catch yourself, right? So the chest is being supported here. Let the head go, let the jaw and mouth open. And then gently roll back up. And then we're gonna do a little bit of a bounce here. So we're just gonna create a little gentle jiggle. I like to think of it kind of jello-y. A little bit of a bounce. And we can titrate our somatic work depending on our mood. So something like this, if you did full-blown shaking or like full-blown, whatever, it would be a little more activating. For today, I would just say jiggle a little, right? Feel the enjoyment, feel the fun, laugh a little, right? And have some fun in this work. Letting the head go. And then just let yourself kind of be taken by it. The best of your ability. Maybe moving around the space a little bit. Last kind of little opportunity here to let it go. Again, a bit of a shorter practice today. Just some good movement we can do to break up our day. Get better in touch with our bodies, build some somatic awareness. And then coming back through center when you feel ready. And swinging the arms into a nice hug. Deep breathing in, maybe a gentle tilt of the back. And then gently release, swing the arms, hug the other way. Gentle arch of the back if it feels right for you. And then, if you feel called, finding your way down to the mat or floor, just to bask for a moment and roll around. I won't keep you guys on camera as I just lie on the floor, but coming back to these swinging movements, different ways of playing around with gravity, and then taking that time after any of your practice to just feel into it, to just be with it. Guys, next week I will be in Yosemite. And then the week after, we will be back to Somatics Weekly. So I'll see you next Friday. I'll announce it. And if you guys have any questions for me in the meantime, anything I can support, just let me know. Okay, thanks for joining.